choice. You have to choose to listen to my voice. If you do, you might discover something about yourself that could be frightening for some and liberating for others. Which one are you? Are you scared? Or do you decide to liberate yourself? You choose. It is of utmost importance that you understand that you have free will. At any time, you can make up your mind and change direction in life. Stop listening. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Exhale. Take a deep breath. Exhale. And take a third deep breath in. Exhale. Then keep listening. See, you had free will to do what I just told you. Or maybe you didn't do it. Did you choose? Was it maybe suggested to you by me, who has recorded this audio, demanding you to do so? Or did you decide? The question is not so much about what you finally decided to do, but more about who is that who decided to do or not to do what was suggested. You already went this far into the audio. Was that your decision? I would like you to consider observing an important detail about what just happened. You had been offered some thoughts to think. Those are presented in front of you through this audio recording. There are two steps possible when having an opportunity arising in front of your awareness: acting or reacting. I reach out and judge that you were acting when you decided to listen to this audio. Or maybe you had been ordered to do so. You took your destiny in your own hands and decided to listen to this audio. Your focus shifted from whatever you were doing before to the active decision to focus your awareness onto this audio. This was your choice. Maybe it was not. Supposedly, you just reacted to someone convincing you to sit down and listen to this because they decided it is good for you. You might have just reacted to give in and fulfill the expectation invested in you by someone else. But who decided to give in to that demand? Or maybe it was you just going with the flow, avoiding to make any decisions? So who decided about what you do right now? Some might answer to this question, it was this other being. Then the question arises, why are you in proximity to this other being that has so much power about you? Did you decide this? Could you decide to add some distance between you and these other beings? Those make decisions for you? You could do that, But maybe the distance doesn't help much because you still think of them as if they are in power to decide about what you should or should not do. Even if they are thousands of miles away from where you are right now, it all is related to your free will. You can choose. If you decide that you don't have the power or the circumstances to decide, step back from this thought, look at it and consider that this too is a choice you make or already made. No being can make you do things if you don't give them permission over your doing. This is the point where you might ask, yeah, but what about violence? I was forced to do this. If not, then... Look into history and see that there are many examples of famous beings. Those went through unimaginable pain, suffering, and with huge efforts to do just what they wanted to do, regardless of what others told them or tried to force them to do. They made a choice. They chose what they believed in, what felt right at that moment. They chose to do or think different than what was expected from them to do or think. Those beings converted into famous examples of free will, in big part because they gave others the awareness that they can choose the change for a better world. They showed the world that there is another way. They broadened the awareness of others. They helped other beings to expand their consciousness. But did they force others to expand their awareness? No. No one can force others to expand their consciousness. It's the choice of every individual to do so. It's their choice to think and feel different. Beings can give an example of what to do or believe, but others have the choice to include or not the new approach and wisdom into their unique experience of consciousness. It is always your freedom of choice. Probably at this moment, this far into the audio, there is some evidence that you chose to broaden and deepen your understanding. Was that your choice? When it was, who are you exactly? Are you the person that is living according to what others expect you to be? Did you choose for yourself? Did you choose to be a person that likes to expand their knowledge? Why would you choose to do that? On what basis did your decision came into existence? With the need to be active, exploring further about yourself. Had there been some influence from others? Did you acquire some insight through a book? A comment from someone else? A movie? Maybe a dream? Or by chance from some advertising on a wall we're walking by? Endless opportunities to be triggered are presented to you at any given moment, at any given place. You might look out of the window, or if you observe yourself, anything you see, hear, smell, or touch can have an impact on your next step in life. So who decided for you to have these reactions to external events? Those guide your actions? Or maybe you are triggered by some internal feeling, premonition, by inspired thoughts. Where did those come from? Did they came from you? So then, who are you? To answer this question, you might want to decide to understand the following concepts about your real self. We can get closer to the answer to who we are when we disseminate this question by understanding and knowing what we are not. You are not a person that is a physical being with some spiritual background. You are not a person who is spiritual. You are not a person who has or does not have a spiritual experience. You are a spiritual being in a physical form. You are not your body. How could you be your body when you must admit that your body changes all the time from birth to death? Just check in a mirror. Are you the same that you have been 10 years ago? What part of you has been there all the time? You are a spiritual being inside of a human form. You are not your mind. How can you be your mind when you are able to be in deep sleep and then next morning come back from there? Your mind is thinking. Those thoughts change frequently by age, circumstances, or even when you are tired, in contrast to when you are excited. What if you don't think at all? Do you disappear in that same instant? You are a spiritual being that has a mind that is thinking. Did you choose to be a spiritual being? Can you choose not to be a spiritual being? Who is the one that chooses to be or not to be? A lot of suffering is related to the beliefs or stories we make up about ourselves. We might choose to believe that we are this unique individual, a person with a name and an address attached to a story of how we became that person and what kind of potential that person has. Based on experiences and circumstances, those happened and are. This is an illusion. It is your choice to believe those stories. Those have been made up by others or created by ourselves. We could also choose to make up a new story about ourselves that differs from what was told to us or invented by us. We have free will to do so. We can change the story to whatever we choose to be true or believable to us. We can prove any time if this invented story is what should be our purpose in life by observing how that new story feels. We should deduct that when it feels good, that this new creation of a story we believe in is somehow aligned with our purpose. We could even reflect about our usual story that is dictated by our circumstances, actual beliefs, and our life story. What parts of that construct feel good? You might choose to keep those. What parts feel bad? You have the right to choose and tweak them to your liking. Make things up. Daydream. Make wishes. Explore your desires. Anything you focus upon will grow, like plants do. You might have created some suffering in your life because you kept focusing on all the aspects of reality those you did not like. By giving those aspects your attention, you just kept watering the unwanted plants. And they grow too, if they get any attention. Be present as much as you can and always choose the good stuff to focus on. That is when your life turns around into bliss. Bringing your attention to things, thoughts, and circumstances that you appreciate, those that make you feel good. You are watering the plants of bliss, and they will grow. You might want to start with a small plant. Something you noticed in your life that feels good. Something you appreciate. Something you feel grateful about. It could be a beautiful tree standing outside of the window you are looking through. Anything is great if you manage to be grateful about it. It's not only that you foster the good stuff, at the same time, you are neglecting the weeds you do not like. This happens automatically because you cannot focus on everything and all at the same time. It is your focus and attention that creates your perceptions and experiences in this world. Ultimately, it is consciousness that is experiencing the world. Consciousness is acting through your being with your senses, perceiving the material world. You have the choice to taste, hear, see, smell, and touch. You are free to move around on this planet and choose to where, what, when, and why. It is your true self that is holding the light of consciousness that illuminates your experiences. Learn about your true nature. Learn who you really are. It is your life. It is your choice.